So what we do on the show is we just talk shop. We can go as far into the weeds as we want, all the way down to resistors and diodes or the size of the guitar cable.
I've always wanted to hear about those.
I might want to talk to you about, the poor spellers with that first big band you started, and how that was never correct. Oh, we're rolling. Welcome, I'm Clint Black, and tonight I am talking in circles with famed bluegrass legend Tommy Shaw. Yeah. Wow. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
I've never been introduced that way, I love because I did a bluegrass album.
Oh, really?
I really did.
I got to say, I want to talk to you about that. I thought it would be the oddest introduction because so much has superseded that. First, I have to tell you, I'm such a big fan. I've seen you live before I got into the business, and then after where I got to meet you at the show out in Los Angeles. And the thing that struck me, aside from hearing all those great songs, was something you don't get from every concert. It doesn't always sound right. And I remember, even at a young age, seeing you come through Houston and just thinking, this just sounds fantastic. When I saw you at Universal in Los Angeles, and if you want to just be thrilled to see a band live, you guys still are nailing it. The sounds are fantastic. It sounds like the record, but with all the excitement that comes with seeing you do it live. And one of the most remarkable things that I always tune into is the acoustic guitar. And when you went into Fooling Yourself, I just thought, man, I got to work on my guitar sound. How do you get an acoustic guitar going through all those cables and coming out of those speakers? It's an unnatural thing with an acoustic guitar, and it was the best I've ever heard. I just went away from that really mad at my guitar sound, thinking,
you can get that way with guitars.
Yeah.
You can. I'm mad. I've got one that I've tried to make this guitar work, and I'm not going to say who made it because they are friends of mine, but I've tried to find this acoustic 12-string guitar that will do that. And I'm using hummingbirds now, but
yeah, I thought it was a 6-string.
Yeah, it's a six string, but I have one song that I play on acoustic 12-string, and those guitars, they're really not meant to be out on a truck and going through wintertime and summertime and hot, cold, damp, and everything, because you got twice as many strings pulling on that top, and you're really asking it to do a lot. But I have a song that I need to do on that, so I took this one out today. I said, how many times am I going to bring this guitar back to my house, and put it up? And I'm trying to think who I can give this guitar to, and I can put it on the wall, and they stop handing it to me, So
it's a lot to handle, and I go through the same thing with mine. Do we really need it? Yeah, we got it. Yes, we need it. Or no. I'm not taking it out this time. I
got a bunch of, when we made the decision, I got a new guitar tech, and he's kind of held my feet to the fire and said, do you really need 11? How many Les Pauls do you need out there? You're only playing like 3. So they're starting to come home, and now I got to find places for them.
I'm just having that same exact conversation. How do you leave one behind? And they all have these little characteristics about them, right?
Yes,
and so, we love them. We love our guitars.
I do, and I'm still like a little kid, thinking about when I got my first electric guitar. It was like just magical, It changed my life, and they keep me going, and so it's hard for me to let one go. I don't want to be a guitar hoarder though, and that's what I kind of am.
Somebody has to own them all.
I know. They're up in the attic, and we've got a place that we were going to do something with it, but it just sits empty, and we call it our big storage space. But it winds up being this dump spot. I've got B3 organ case over there. That's.
You play the organ?
I have an organ. I play piano enough to write songs on it. I've written some songs on it and then hand it over to somebody who can play. I bought a B3 a few years ago here in town. It had belonged to a man that owned an electronics store in Chicago, and he had it, and it was one of the smaller Leslie cabinets. That's how old it was. And then he gave it to his son, and his son kept it until he got a divorce, and he had to get rid of it. And somebody here in town had it, and I went out and looked at it. Well, I was in a band, a 7-piece horn band, and we played in this club in Chicago, and it was up really on the 3rd floor, and it was just this, industrial building. You had to go up like that, and I wound up on the back end of that Leslie on one side of it many times, hauling it up those stairs and that sort of thing. And so it made me feel good to see when I went and looked at it, it still had that same dolly on there. And so I've got that dolly up in the attic.
But it's vintage. It's a priceless treasure even if you don't play it.
I've listened to several around town, and mine is the best one I've heard in this town. So
there. There. Nice. So your songwriting outside of the normal things, I'm going to read off some artist names. One of them sticks out. I don't know if anybody will catch it. Ozzy, Alice Cooper, Aerosmith, Edgar Winter, Montrose, Don Felder, The Road to Forever is amazing. Night Ranger, of course. Cher.
I was wondering if you were going to have that one.
That's the one that's
What? I was waiting for that. We never met, but I had this song, Whenever You're Near. That was the name of it. It sounded like a Cher song, so
You sent it to her?
somebody sent it to her. I didn't have her number.
How did all of these contributions work? I know you got to be like me in some sense, that I'm writing stuff that I love and I'm going to hold on to it. I don't send them out to anyone.
Yeah, I'm not a for-hire writer. I don't write like that. I can do it, I guess, but, write me a song, man.
Yeah.
I could probably do it, but my stuff is better when it just kind of flows out.
Were these times when you had something and you thought of someone and someone sent it out?
I found, it was when Jack Blades and I were working together a lot, I found that conversationally, you think I could do something like that? I would go, no. But then they would say, Alice Cooper needs a song. And as soon as they said Alice Cooper, I heard Alice Cooper singing this song in my head. And the same happened with Vince Neil. I heard, there's Vince singing in my head. Where's the guitar?
So when somebody said their name, they're looking for something, the song didn't already exist.
Right.
You heard their voice.
I heard their voice
something
singing
came out.
something, it's syllables and then words, and then you're just...
So why doesn't someone just walk around saying artist names to you so the songs will start popping out?
I don't know. I know.
That would be, man, this guy could be a lot more productive if you just follow him around and
I know. It's
say
like
people's
it's an
names.
illness, though. It could make you crazy, but I didn't have to do it too much.
I got to go back to the Don Felder Road to Forever.
Yeah.
Was that something where you guys worked closely on it? Was it a drive-by type of deal?
I went over to his studio, and he said, I've got this track. So I went and sat down at the console and played me the track, and it was like, started hearing, like, there's Don singing it in my head.
So he had a track and no lyrics or melody, really?
Right. He just had this beautifully produced track, just needed vocals on it. So he left me in there, and I wrote lyrics, I sang it, sang all the background vocals on it, and I was like, I have no idea whether this is any good or whether he's gonna hate it or what, but it's like, here it is. It was a great, I thought it was a really good song.
Fantastic, yeah, and a great record.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting way to work.
It is. Well,
Step into this room, and I'll be back.
Yeah, it's fun to not it must be like this, and it can only be between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I must have my wine. You know, because music isn't like that. You know, it's out there in the ether. You got to be ready for it, and it's got to be ready for you. You know, because it will pass you by. You know, if you don't grab it, it is like you're in the shower, you're singing, and don't you sound great in the shower, right? Man, it's just awesome.
You stick microphones in there. I'll tell you what happens to me in the shower is if I've had arrangement problems I'm trying to work through, and I'll get into the shower, and then it'll start playing in my head because it won't really stop. It keeps fighting its way back into my conscious mind, and so then it'll start working itself out. And I'll go, oh, okay, well, I'm finished showering, and now, but I can't get out because I've learned when I shut the water off, I'm no longer able to just keep thinking about it.
It goes away with the steam.
Yeah, it goes away with, where's my towel? It's gone. That's it.
That's why I have my phone ready to record something, because, and I've missed a couple lately, you know, where I'd be in the car or something, or on a plane where I can't just start singing out like that, or early in the morning and I don't have much of a voice and I've missed it. And
you feel like it's just gone.
And there's one, I call them song buds. I'll pick up the guitar and I'll just play this weird little interval, and I've got, all right, I gotta record that. And I recorded this one thing, and then I didn't label it or anything. It's in there with hundreds of other things, and I came across it the other day, and so I set it down and I started playing along with it. And it was like, I gotta show this is a song starting to happen right here. And then I lost it again. So it's in there. I'm gonna find it.
Because I've said before, you know, songwriting isn't magic. It's a lot of work, but there are those moments where it feels like something magical happened, and if you don't jump on it and keep it, you'll lose it.
When you're a musician and you do write and you're conscious of it, it's out there just waiting for you, you know. I like when we are put into a communal dressing room. You know, promoters think that you want your own private dressing room and have all your space in it, but I love being in the room with everybody, because Todd's sitting there playing on his thing, Ricky's practicing his bass, and Lawrence is playing his piano, and you know, James is noodling over there, and I have to keep my eye on JY. Because he's noodling all the time, and every once in a while we'll be like, what was that?
Keep it.
What was that? Yeah. Hang on a second. Play that. Yeah. You know, and it turned into a song. We opened the show with it for a tour, and if you hadn't been paying attention, it was just went to the noodle factory.
I was not surprised with you being from Alabama, but doing such hard rock and stuff. When you put out a Bluegrass album, The Great Divide. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, dobro doesn't surprise me, although, you know, I'd never heard you play dobro. Wasn't on Renegade.
No.
And so, but mandolin, I'm always surprised when a guitar player, not a fiddle player, the scale's the same, the strings are ordered in the same way, but when a guitar player can put down the guitar and pick up something that's backwards and play it, and you don't just strum. I mean, you're playing amazing stuff on the mandolin, and it must come from childhood, right? Was that early on?
No, I was in Styx, and I was coming...
Okay, this is done. We're done. We're done here. Thank you very much for being here today. And we all hate your guts. So later in life?
Oh, I was in Styx, and I lived in Michigan when we made most of those first albums like that. So I would drive 60 miles a day to go to rehearsals, and 60 miles back to go home. And this one time I went through South Bend, and I knew where this music store was there. So I'm going to stop in there and see what they've got. And they had the little mandolin in there. And I said, well, I'm a guitar player. didn't play a mandolin. It's just strings
No,
on a guitar.
no.
I got it home and was like, what? What is this tuning on here? So
I tried to reverse the order of the strings to make it, and no,
no,
doesn't
so
work.
I sat there until I finally came up with, hey, there's a G minor chord, I think. I kept messing around and I came up with a little chord progression. And I had this, remember those Tascam reel-to-reel 4-channel things? I had one of those in my living room. I played a guitar track to play mandolin to. Then I played the mandolin track. It took me a bunch of takes to get it, close.
Please, thank you.
So I got the mandolin part. So it's like, okay, so I should sing it, but I don't have any words. So I wrote these words down. I wrote, "Take me down to my boat on the river." And it went along with it, so I just kept making up words, and then I did the demo of it. And I took it to them to rehearsal the next day. You guys are not gonna believe what this, I wrote a song on the mandolin. They heard it, and they said, we're gonna put this on the album. So that wound up on the album.
So suddenly you're Jethro Tull now. It's just
But the odd thing, I said, well, it's never gonna get any airplay. And it did, and it didn't in the United States. But all over the world, in Greece, and Japan, and France, Czechoslovakia, Israel, they took the song and they translated it into their own languages. And then the song sounded like a folk song from their country. And so it got covered more than any Styx song ever, all over the world.
That's crazy.
And I remember being at a party somewhere, a lot of, very well-heeled people, and, I did not feel like I fit in there. And this woman came up to me and asking me, what was I doing there? And
what are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? I play in this band called Styx. I've never heard of them. It's like, so where are you from? And it was somewhere in Europe. And I said, well, do you know the song Boat on the River? Of course. I said, that's me.
Quite well healed, aren't I?
and she went, no, it wasn't. And walked off. So
that's amazing.
And I know that just shows you, don't let those little song buds get away from you. You just never know.
That was the beginning of mandolin for you.
That was the beginning of mandolin. If I don't die, I'll be hung in the middle. If it ain't right, I'd rather be wrong. On my knees, Lord, spare me a little. When they lower me down, I'll be coming home. Thank you.
Yeah, that's powerful. And, the great divide, if you like bluegrass or rock and roll, it really is great stuff.
That was my mother's favorite album I ever did.
Wow. Nice. Isn't that great to do that for her?
If she was in this room and if she got a hold of you, she'd be tugging on your sleeve. You heard my son's bluegrass album? And she would not.
Oh, yes.
And she would be on you until you committed to go buy it. But I grew up with that music. We listened to Grand Ole Opry, and Hank Williams' grave was like 10-minute walk from my house, and we'd go down there. There's like a bench you can sit on down there, and the tombstones are up there with the big notes on the side, and praise the Lord, I saw the light, written on the tombstones. Audrey's right next to him. And that was before she died. They already had her tombstone up there.
That's a weird omen.
That's weird,
right there.
yeah. But we'd take, Boone's Farm wine or sit out there and...
The good stuff.
Yeah, and howl at the moon, sing Hank Williams songs.
One more question I ask each of my guests. When you get to heaven, if you could play a song with anyone who's already there, who would it be and what song would you sing?
Oh, man. For some reason, I'm thinking B.B. King. I want to play The Thrill Is Gone with B.B. King.
Well, let's hope it's a long, long time from now. I like having you here.
I like being here.
Nice job. Yeah, that's without warming up.
That was maybe not the best choice.